5 moves Dallas must consider making in order to be Super Bowl contenders. Now, Patrik Walker is a terrific writer for CBS Sports. Very logical, very thoughtful young man.
That is my dude. Honestly, like dead serious. Like Patrik Walker's like family to me. That's a good dude.
Yeah, no, Patrik Walker's been terrific for a long time, and he's covered this team for a long time. Also the co-host of the Catch This Fade podcast with Katie Drummond of the Cowboys Wire. Now, he proposes 5 moves that the Cowboys must consider making in order to be Super Bowl contenders. And I think one goes without saying that we would both agree with, bringing back Randy Gregory. Bringing back Randy Gregory would be a prudent move given the fact that you might have to have some cap casualty movement when it comes to DeMarcus Lawrence. It seems like, though, the Cowboys are obviously going to be prioritizing bringing back Randy Gregory going into this upcoming season and trying to get him done. How quickly do you think this thing, once it kind of gets rolling, the new league year kind of gets going, like how quickly do you think this thing comes together?
I mean, I think they're apart a little bit right now. You know, but I mean that's negotiation. And
sure.
I think it'll still get done. But I mean, yeah, I think there's some work that needs to be done there.
Next free agent that the Cowboys could consider, and I hate, you know, dunking on this
Bobby
one.
Wagner.
Yeah, Bobby
Wagner.
Wagner.
That really the name?
Yeah, that really is the name.
Hey, Pat,
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, like I'm right there with you, Pat. Like I really am, because I mean the guy is an 8-time.
One second. I'm going to text Patrik Walker. We're doing your article, and I'm going to roast you. Okay, go ahead.
Wow. Like I mean, he's an 8-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. His market is going to be very interesting to watch because this is a premium player who is still in the prime of his career. And Seattle said, you know, cost-cutting measure by saving $16, you know, plus $1 million that they had to move on from him. So there's going to be a really, really good market for him, I think, and a team is going to get a terrific football player and leader in the locker room. The fantasy booking of Micah Parsons and Bobby Wagner together would be fun to watch.
Sure. Yeah. And look, I know Bobby Wagner's up there. He's not exactly the same player he always used to be, but I mean, he's still a really good player.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, because of, you know, where the Cowboys are concerned about their financials, but it'd be nice if they just went ahead and made it work.
If you wanted to add some swagger and some attitude to this secondary, you would add this next person. But
Richard Sherman.
No, that would be just a headache at this point.
Okay.
But it's that one guy. You remember that one time where they said this one guy, you know, wasn't a scheme fit around here? Remember that guy?
Honey Badger.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu. You want to talk about some swagger, some attitude, some punch in that secondary?
Which they need.
Tyrann Mathieu would be that dude.
Oh, yeah. Luka just hit a 3. Cut it down to 14.
He's cooking.
We're coming back, y'all.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he's cooking in the third quarter. But, yeah, Tyrann Mathieu would be that guy. I think he ultimately does go back to the Chiefs, but I would not be surprised if he lands elsewhere.
Man, I heard, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, I heard Chiefs they're tight. They're tight on some money right now.
They'll figure out a way to make it work. I feel like they always, I know they cut, you know, Anthony Hitchens, you know, he's available now on the open market because in a cost-cutting measure. But I feel like Brett Veach is creative enough that he'll be able to find a way to get him back.
I just know, like, and I don't feel it's necessarily like my place to jump in on it because Kansas City's not really my beat, but like,
yeah.
I know there's some guys there that they're probably gonna have to say goodbye to that they don't want to. So I mean, they're in a little tight spot, but I mean, I think they would like to prioritize making that happen.
Yeah,
bringing him back, but.
And they still got to sign Orlando Brown also to a long-term contract. They just franchise tagged him. You want to talk about replacing the center? We've talked a lot about that in the draft, possibly for the Cowboys addressing, you know, the center position with, you know, with Linderbaum from Iowa. But how about going to free agency and getting a guy who's a Super Bowl champion, Ryan Jensen from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? How would he fit here in Dallas as part of the offensive line? I think it would be a good fit here, I would think.
Yeah, Ryan Jensen's still a good player. I don't know. I mean, I think if you're going to go out, and I don't know what Jensen's, you know, contract would be, but I mean, he did just make his first Pro Bowl this past year, and so I don't know. I mean, it just depends. There's some centers I think in second, third round, apparently, or potentially that I think they could go after. Luke Fortner from Kentucky, Dylan Parham from Memphis. So I mean, there's some value options there. He wouldn't be a bad one. I just don't know about if. I mean, obviously we know if it's more than like the minimum, like the Cowboys build their roster in free agency the way like a restaurant hires their wait staff, which is like oh, I don't know. We can only afford to pay you like the bare minimum.
The minimum wage.
We expect you to make it up in tips.
Exactly.
Only the Cowboys don't even let you collect tips. So, but I mean, that's honestly the problem. That would be a great move to make. I just don't know that. Like, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they have the money.
Yeah.
I don't think Pat's saying they're going to do it.
Yeah, no, exactly. These are just, some guys that, I mean, you would definitely consider a guy, in Jensen who's played, pretty well over the last couple of years. Last one, another member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champion.
Tom Brady.
Could you imagine Cowboys fans losing their minds if Tom Brady said, you know what, I'm coming out of retirement, and I know they got a quarterback in Dallas.
How fun would that be?
But I want to go play for Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. That would be kind of insane to figure out how that would work. O.J. Howard. Now, of course, they just tagged Dalton Schultz, still trying to figure out their tight end room. O.J. Howard, would that be someone you would consider as well to potentially help your tight end room, even with the tagging of Dalton Schultz going into the 2022 season?
Yeah, because I'd rather just if you're going to go that direction, I would hope then rescind the tag is what you do. But I mean, O.J. Howard, he's 27.
27, yeah.
Still just 27. I mean, he's a guy that he's obviously had some injury issues and stuff like that. But when he's out there, he's been productive, and he's a true all-around tight end, I think. I mean, that's a guy who will block and also can make some plays in the passing game. And honestly, he wouldn't be, I don't think he'd have that high of a market just because he's, been injured and he hasn't quite performed up to what people thought he was going to be. But, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. But now that you got Schultz on the tag, then, that is what it is.
Big body tight end at 6'6". He did play and was active in all 17 games this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after, having an injury-riddled 2020 season.
Trollo469 in the Twitch chat saying O.J. Howard likes being a backup.
Oh, wow.
Come on. Be nice to O.J. Howard.
That is rough. But those are five five free agents that the Cowboys should consider as they go into the NFL free agency period. The new league year begins next week, a week from today, March the 16th. March 14th through the 16th is the negotiating period.
Yeah, get that right.
They call it.
You don't have to get it right. You don't.
They're
not. The editors aren't going to get onto you.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it the legal tampering period. That's what I'm gonna call it.
By the way, Patrick says you're not going to roast me, sir. When I said that I was going to text him and tell him that I'd roast his suggestions there. He's saying you're absolutely not going to
tell Patrick he needs to text me back. Okay.
I mean, you can tell him he's listening right now.
Patrick, call me. I want to talk to you, man. That's all I'm saying.